about an agency that doesn't respond and doesn't function well. The functioning of what you do can be a life or death circumstance for those we all serve and all care about. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I will say I agree with everything that you have articulated so well just now, and I think it summarizes a lot of the role of our committee and all of us as members of the United States Senate. Let me just come right to the point. First of all, thank you for your service. Thank you to your family for their service, and thank you for your willingness to serve in this position. You've been senior advisor at the VA since April, correct?
Correct.
And during that time, the VA has engaged in systematic denial of facts, stonewalling of this committee in an unprecedented way. And it's been, frankly, bipartisan. Both sides. Inquiries, in effect, either ignored or blown off. The few answers we get are mostly boilerplate, non-responsive repetitions of talking points that fail to address basic questions. It's been true of Secretary Collins' testimony, but also the responses that we've received, for example, about the VA's DOGE team, what they do, who they are, what they're working on. We've asked by email, and we've asked in hearings. Senator King has sent a letter, and then more than a dozen colleagues joined me in sending a subsequent letter requesting information briefing. We've asked about contracts, and the response has been either to give us inaccurate information, which was acknowledged to be inaccurate, or telling us that you, quote, will not be providing a briefing on this issue. How do you explain this abject failure on the part of the VA?
Senator, first, I want to make sure I clarify that I personally did not say that I would not provide a briefing. I want to make sure that that's not the case. And I cannot speak to all the decisions that have been made, sir. But what I can tell you is I also recognize the challenges that the Secretary has taken on in his role. And I think as everyone in this room can attest, the Department of Veterans Affairs is not a flawless organization, but it is a very large organization.
Well, let me just ask the question again, and I apologize if I implied that you told us that you would not be providing the briefing. The department told us you have been an advisor in the office that was supposed to be responding. Have you been involved in any of the answers to any individuals on this committee or the committee itself?
No, sir.
You've had no involvement?
I have not.
What have you been doing?
I've been working on organizing the Office of Congressional Legislative Affairs in a way that if I'm confirmed, sir, it will be ready to be more responsive. And I would say, I think if you go back and you look at least at the timeliness of responses, that we have been working to some degree to be able to provide those. I've not been involved in the substance.
Part of the answer that you've just given me, and I apologize for interrupting because my time is going to expire shortly. You just said you've been working in restructuring the office so it would be, quote, more responsive.
Correct, sir.
End quote. I'm going to view that in the most positive light and say my conclusion is that you would join me in feeling that the office has been unresponsive so far. But you don't have to agree with me or not. The record shows it has been abjectly unresponsive, and to the extent you've been involved as an advisor and you've known of our dissatisfaction and you're going to be taking over, I am troubled that you haven't said to the Secretary, Secretary Collins, we got to do something here because we're not answering these valid requests for information. Did you ever go to him and say that?
Senator, I'm very sensitive to the concerns that you've expressed and appreciate them very much. I have had conversations with the Secretary about our ability to respond promptly and substantively. That is his intent, is to be able to get there. The challenges are that the size of the organization takes some time to be able to get there, and I think everyone would agree that the policy positions of the previous administration and the current administration are fairly vast. So turning around on a dime for those policies is a challenge that we are working on addressing. So getting the voice and the vernacular correct in the way we respond is something that's a work in progress.
My time has expired. Thank you.
Sir King.
First, I should